Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Monday, the Monday after England got through to the last four of the Euros, the Monday after Andy Murray played his last ever game for Wimbledon, the Monday after Lewis Hamilton got back to winning ways at the British Grand Prix, the Monday after
your sister fell over and
my sister fell over and possibly has broken her ankle, the Monday after anything. It's just Monday, but it's the Monday before the Euros semi-final. Is that right? Semi-final, yes, on Wednesday. So great weekend of football. I hope everyone's doing well. Jimbo is with me as always. Jimbo, how you diddly doodling?
Yeah, good, thank you. All ready for today.
And we've got the youngest looking old man on YouTube and also one of the nicest. Mr. Chang's in the house. How are you doing, Mr. Chang?
A very good afternoon, evening, or even the morning to wherever it is you are tuning in from. I am doing very well. Just had a magnificent weekend with the family, and with England winning, I thought I had to do something different today.
Yes.
I know I did go on a sort of a tirade, a sort of an opening speech at one point where everything was almost premeditated. I had this speech saying I will never wear anything red or anything with a crimson hue on it, but this was the only English top I could find in my wardrobe, so I'm going to have to make do with this, seeing as how England already made it into the semi-finals. Congratulations to them. They are now they're having to face off against Mickey van der Ven. Who would have ever thought Harry Kane, Phil Foden, and Bukayo Saka having to go up against Van der Ven in the semi-finals, but the winner of that tie will have to face either Spain or France for a chance of lifting the trophy in the finals. So all the very best to England. And let's get into today's show without further ado. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you, Chang. Before we start, let's have a quick look at who is in the chat. We've got Scott Colliver says, hello, Kate and Jim. I hope you're well. All good, thank you. We've got Jose saying, Vamos la Roja a por Elos. That's probably an absolute murder of what you've just said. But I did say when Spain won at the weekend, well, I'm pleased for Jose or Jose. I never know if it's Jose. It's Jose, isn't it? Jose. Big up, Drew La. Hope you're well. Bill P, woo! In answer to your question, yes, I am bothered about the Euros, despite sitting through what I consider to be 75 minutes of utter, not quite as bad, but a little bit better, but still not great football. We did have 15 minutes where I thought we was very good, and I'm absolutely buzzing for the next game. I'm not going to lie, starting to get England fever. Yes, my sister... It's her own fault, Drula. She wears heels like this that are that thin and decides to climb on parasol bases rather than walk around and use the gate. And she fell over and she's definitely sprained her ankle, possibly broken it. And she's got a big boot on and she's going to Ibiza in just over a week. So she's in a shocking state. But it is what it is. She's a wally. She should wear sensible trainers like her sister. That's all I'm going to say on it. Good afternoon, Shemtan. The next England manager, Sir Jimbo. Yeah, this is stuck now. Mr. Young Man Chang, the youngest looking old man, Mr. Chang. Phil P says, hope your sister's okay, or at least on the mend and back to full fitness soon. Thank you. Sorry to hear about your sister, Princess Kate. Was you mad at her? Was she near any stairs? No, I wasn't even there. I was in the car on the way back from a party. So it's all down to her being silly. Dribble performance from England again, from the manager down to the players. Yeah, Drew, I do think there were signs that there was an improvement, but still not up to the level we would expect. Jim, what did you make of the performance on Saturday?
Well, I thought they were a lot better. I was really disappointed we never won in full time, but I actually wasn't worried when it went to penalties because we got such good penalty takers. I was very cool and calm. We was at someone's house and there was about 40 people there, and everyone was screaming and shouting. I just sat there all nice and calm. I was very confident. that we'd win on penalties. But yeah, it was a better performance. I thought Saka was excellent. I thought he played really well. It was nice to see him step up. I thought Rice was good. Harry Kane wasn't in the game very much, was he? Yeah, I think defensively we did well. Saka got back and did some good defending at times, and he was good down that wing. Scored a good goal, so for me, he was man of the match. Yeah, I think overall, I was happy. I think they seem to put a lot into it. You know, a lot more into it. So we won, and then get to the quarterfinals. It's all about winning.
Truda, the cats are downstairs. They're still with us. We've still got them. They're just not up here with me. Chang, what did you make of the performance on Saturday? Did you see any improvement?
I can only speak from what I saw in the first hour or so, from between midnight to 1 a.m. before I dozed off before both goals were scored towards the end of the first half. So that just gives you an idea how pedestrian the game was. That first half hour that I completely dozed off at the hour mark. But when I came around just before 2 a.m., that was halfway through the first half of extra time. After both goals were scored, I'm thinking, you know what, this is going to go to penalties. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to do my best to stay up for the penalties. And lo and behold, it was just more of the same. It was just more of the same for the remaining first half of extra time and pretty much all of the second half of extra time, to the point where I actually dozed off again. At 2:30. So I completely missed the penalties as well. And by the time I came to, it was still goalless in the second semi-final. The second quarterfinal. The second quarterfinal between Portugal and France. That was, I think, the beginning of the second half. Sometime around 4 a.m. It was 4 a.m. by then. So yeah, it wasn't the best performance for the quarterfinal matches on Saturday. But I will say this about England and their willingness, or rather their their perseverance for not giving up. They found the equalizer, Bukayo Saka. I think from the highlights that I saw on ITV1, I think it was, he deserved man of the match, as what Mr. James mentioned earlier. And it's good to see England be able to tuck away all 5 of the penalties without once missing. And I thought Switzerland, I wouldn't say Switzerland were hard done. They were good for their goal by Breel and Mbolo, but Bukayo Saka had a very good equalizer, and it was worthy of grabbing a well-deserved equalizer before the regular full time. And now that England have gone into have been able to book their place in the semi-finals, I think this is a now or never chance. That's not to say that the final will be any easier than this upcoming semi-finals match against the Netherlands. But I honestly feel, and this is from what I saw from the highlights alone, I honestly feel that Switzerland actually put up a much better fight compared to Netherlands in the quarterfinals. So if England were able to get past Switzerland, I will tip them. I would actually tip England this semi-finals to go over in the Netherlands and book a place in the final next Sunday, I think, 2 days after Mr. James's birthday. So I do remember that. So I hope there will be something great for you to have to look forward to celebrate too on Sunday, Mr. James, if England does lift the trophy, and if it is coming home. Although I wouldn't count my chickens too soon, I would actually look towards the semi-finals first. I think that is first and foremost on everyone's thoughts at the moment. And if England can just reproduce the same kind of perseverance, grit, and never give up, the never say die attitude that they've displayed against the likes of Switzerland and also Slovakia the previous round, I think they have a very, very good chance of making it to the final. But let's just take it one game at a time. Let's just get past the Netherlands first before we even think about the final.
Exactly. I remember when I was doing we're Monday, the Monday after. I meant to say the Monday after the last Brit went out of Wimbledon, because of course Emma Raducanu went out yesterday, and I meant to say the Monday of Min Son's birthday, because it is little Sonny's birthday today. So massive happy birthday to Spurs legend Min Son. May he continue to perform excellent next season in a Spurs shirt. But Jim did touch on this young man, as did you, Chang. I thought Saka was the standout player at the weekend. I mean, what I will say, you've got to say about Gareth Southgate, his man management with players like Saka has been exceptional. He could have really gone down in his confidence after missing a penalty, but Gareth's put his faith in him, giving him, like, always, he's a guaranteed starter for England, gave him the penalty to take, and he smashed it home, as well as the equalising goal. Jim, I mean, this is the performance we've been waiting to see from Saka. He's been criticised quite heavily in this tournament, unfairly, in my opinion, because nobody's really performed very well. But I thought he was really, really good on Saturday.
Yeah, they always seem to find a scapegoat, and he did take a lot of crap, and the whole team haven't been good. There's only been, like, for me, the only one that's been most consistent is Rice. I think he's been
good.
Yeah, he's been good. Yeah, it's a lot on his shoulders, isn't it, for a young kid? But I think Rice has been the outstanding player of the tournament for us. But that's not saying that he's been particularly fantastic. He's been a lot better than the others. But yeah, so I thought Saka was outstanding. Yeah, and took his goal brilliant. How many times have we seen him do that? Score a goal like that. So yeah, he I don't know if he got man of the match, but he should have done.
He did get man of the match.
Yeah, well deserved. Yeah. So let's hope we can kick on from here and get to the final. But I was going to say to Shemtam that the first words out of your mouth when Turkey lost was poor Shemtam.
Yeah, it was. I did think of you, Shem. As soon as they went out, I was like, oh, I feel so sorry for him. Chang, I mean, what's your thoughts on Saka? He obviously got man of the match. Was you impressed with him?
I was impressed with him, given how much stick he'd been getting prior to this. But I also find it a bit unwarranted, really, the criticism that he's been getting, because I remember there was one particular group game. I cannot remember which nation it was, but he was doing so well up to the point where Gareth Southgate took him off unnecessarily. I thought he should have at least carried on for that game in particular, and it was I think it was very it was justified, his man of the match award, and it was also a sort of redemption arc for him to score the equalizer and also to be able to tuck away his penalty, seeing as how he missed that all crucial final penalty kick against Italy, who are themselves also out in this tournament. So I think it's good in that sense that he has been able to mature, and that he is now a lot mentally stronger than he was 4 years ago in the last Euros. And long may this continue, because if England are to get past the Netherlands, they are going to have to bank on players like him, players like Saka, players like Declan Rice, even the likes of Bellingham, Kyle Walker. A lot of these players have to step up, and they have to step up massively for the upcoming semi-finals against the Netherlands. But this is encouraging signs. Previously, even the round of 16 match against Slovakia, I think it was, we were all like heavily criticizing the England team to not even be able to register a shot on target up until the Jude Bellingham spectacular equalizer. So this is a good step up in the right direction. But make no mistakes, there's still a lot left to be done. by Gareth Southgate and the coaching staff. There still is a lot more football to have to be played before we can even think of winning the tournament. But until such time, I would still not get too carried away. I wouldn't be too overly worried about England's chances now that they have got their the monkey off their back. They've broken the hoodoo of not being able to win on penalties. This is like, I think, the second time they won on penalty shootouts since coming out on tops against Colombia in the World Cup in Russia. So it's good to see England be able to win back-to-back penalty shootouts in international tournaments. And yeah, I mean, Saka has been good, but if I was him, if I was Southgate, I would just tell him, you know what, that was just the quarterfinals. Here is where the business end of the tournament is coming around. So Bukayo Saka, you still have a lot left to be done. You have to, at the very least, I will hope, maintain your standard of football. Keep up that good work, and let's just see what comes up for England and Gareth Southgate in the semi-finals. Let's just enjoy the ride as it is, and not be too carried away, and let's just support England while they're still in the tournament.
Yep, agreed. Sorry to hear about your dog, David Shear. Very sad news. Sending you a big kiss. Big up
I was sorry, Kate. I was meant to tell you. I watched Jacob's stream back this morning, and I saw it on Jacob's stream. And I was meant to tell you. Yeah, sorry, David, to hear that. Sad news.
Yeah. Rice is not my favourite person. Fair play to Saka. I wonder if all the people that abused him after the last Euros were cheering when he scored. Of course they were. For some reason, Rice is expected to make line-breaking passes like KDB, but also shield the back four. Look, I don't think Rice has been our player of the tournament, but I don't think he's been average either. I think he's done well. I'm not sure who I'd put. I've got to give a shout out to Pickford for Saturday. I thought he did well. Obviously, he saved that penalty, but I thought his distribution was better. I thought he looked more confident.
Daniel's right. Gay's been good as well.
Yeah, he's been excellent when he's been called in. I thought Carl Walker.
I forgot about him.
I thought Carl Walker did well on Saturday as well. But I think for me, my if I had to pick my own personal player of the tournament, it'd be Mainu, just because he's so young. And maybe the fact there was no real expectation on him as such. He's got no fear. I just think he's been incredible this tournament. But there's still time for someone to make their big impression on the tournament, as we've still got a couple of games. Well, hopefully a couple of games to go and not just the one. Rice plays like a pure DM for England, has some of the best tackle ratio in the tournament whilst covering the most distance. He can't do it all at the same time, but for some reason that's expected. Yeah, I thought he's done well, but yeah, Mainu, I just think he's been phenomenal. I think Man United are absolutely blessed to have him. But Netherlands next, and then obviously Spain face France. I mean, for me personally, I think Spain will beat France, and I think we will scrape a win past the Netherlands. This is the first time I've predicted England to win, so watch us bloody lose now. I think France look bang average. They just haven't kicked in at all. And Spain, I think, are exceptional. So, although I say exceptional, for this tournament, they've been the standout team for me. Jim, what do you predict for the two games?
Well, I said to you before the Switzerland game, I expect us to scrape through, and I expect us to scrape through the next one. And then the final, anything could happen.
Sorry, I've just got to change that and say I think England will lose 2-1 to the Netherlands, because I can't spoil the hoodoo, as someone just said. So I think we'll lose. But go on, Jim.
Yeah, so I expect us to get through. I don't think the Netherlands looked anything special. I don't think anyone's really looked anything special in this competition. Spain have probably looked the best team.
Yeah.
It's not been an outstanding tournament, has it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Spain and England final.
Wow. Chang, what are your thoughts on the two semi-finals?
So I think everything that needs to be said about France has already been said. I read somewhere that up until now, up until the quarterfinals, surprisingly, this is going to surprise a lot of people. But there's a stat somewhere that says that France have yet to register a goal from open play the entire competition. How they are
Wow.
even in the semi-finals is beyond me. How you can actually make it all the way to the semi-finals without even scoring a single goal in the group stages in all the knockout games up until now from open play is mind-blowing. So there is something that they're doing which has to be right. But I think against Spain, I think it's not going to work. Spain were definitely good for the win against Germany, despite me heavily backing the Germans to lift the trophy on home soil. The one big difference between that quarterfinal between Spain and Germany was a particular forward player, a German forward player who currently plies his trade over in N7. I'm not going to mention his name, but let's just say he missed quite a lot of chances for the German national team. And because of that, Germany paid the price by losing out towards the end of extra time. Although I was partly hoping for it to go to penalties because I would like to see Manuel Neuer come out on tops over Unai Simon, but that was not to be. But yeah, I think the Spanish national team have too much in the tank for France to handle. And if Mbappe isn't still up to scratch, nor is Ousmane Dembele for this semi-finals, I think Spain will be comfortable winners in a regular time. Although now that I've seen how Spain fared against Germany, I think anything can still happen. Anything can still happen in the semi-finals. But yeah, Spain themselves do have the upper hand. As for the Netherlands, I think they were good for their win as well against Portugal. Yep, they won against Portugal. So, was it Turkey? Hang on, I must have got it mixed up. I think it was Turkey. Yep, it was Turkey. It was against Turkey. So, Netherlands, I mean, don't get me wrong. The likes of Memphis Depay, what's the other Dutch forward name? I can't even remember it right now. But yeah, Mickey Van der Ven has been having a great tournament, and it will be kind of heartbreaking, really, to see him having to concede against Harry Kane or Foden or Saka. But that's the way it is. If England were to get past the Netherlands, they certainly have to try and get one over Van der Ven. So yeah, Netherlands have a lot to make up for. They have all to do against England, and I really do hope that this is the one game, just this one game, this one time, this tournament that Mickey Van der Ven has a nightmare against Harry Kane. Although I have a sneaky feeling he might just pull out the game of his life. That is what I'm actually fearing for England. You just know it that this is that one game that Mickey Van der Ven is going to play out of his skin, like his entire career dependent on it, just so that he can make it to an European final. So it will be an interesting match to look forward to, but I still feel that England have the upper hand. England have the upper hand against the Netherlands in the semi-finals, and it would be a Spain-England final come Sunday.
Yeah, I would say I agree, but I've been told I mustn't say that England are going to win. So no, I think it's going to be Netherlands, Spain. I have got to just touch on this. I don't really like to lay this on, but I mean, in the player ratings everywhere, Harry Kane was the lowest with an average of around 4. I mean, I don't know what's going on. He's just invisible at the minute for me. Apart from he did a really good defensive tackle and a block, but attacking wise, I mean, Jim, what's going on with Harry Kane?
I think it's got a lot to do with the way we play as well, Kate. He drops quite deep, and as you said, he comes back and defends. They're not playing to his strengths, are they?
No, but it's concerning.
Yeah, it is concerning. You'd think that they'd play to his strengths because if he gets chances, he'll take them. So I think it's a lot to do with the way Southgate sets them up. We know what he can do. We was watching him and people saying, the people we were with, take him off, and I said you can't take him off because he can pop up with a goal. 5 minutes later, he popped up with a goal. So he's a very hard player to take off. But it was a good sub the other day when he took him off and put Tony on because Tony did well when he come on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of people are saying this. Is the league's a lot slower now. His fitness is nowhere near what it was. Chang, what do you think about it? Bloody hell, he's here.
Right.
Are you in
Right,
your? I thought you was in your dressing gown for a minute, but it's a hoodie.
My
Oh no, I
hoodie.
can see now. Good to see you, Nick. Hope you're well. Chang, I'll just come to you before I go to big time. What's going on with Harry Kane at the minute?
Okay, I'm going to get some hate for having to say this because there is actually a reoccurring theme with Harry Kane in that which I still feel, despite him leaving Spurs and now playing straight over in Germany, I still feel that he isn't a big game player, if that makes any sense. Like when it really matters, when England and Spurs were really up against it, or even Bayern Munich for that matter. When it comes to the big occasions, when he's really depended upon and when he's really, relied upon heavily by the team, he somehow rather goes missing in these big matches. And it's not the first time really this tournament. If you look at all the past few games, really, even since the group stages, he hasn't really been able to lead that English side. Not that I don't see him as a natural leader, no, but there's something just sort of amiss. It could be his fitness. It could be that he's been playing one game too many for Bayern Munich and also for England leading up to the European finals. So that could be a fitness issue, although I feel that it's not just a fitness issue. It could be his age catching up with him now, because we know even in his mid and late 20s, he wasn't the fastest player on the pitch for Spurs and for England, and that's definitely showing now as he's coming into his early 30s. So I think in order to get the best out of him, he would need to somehow try and work his game and play to his strengths rather than trying to just do it all by himself, trying to drop deep every time he does, trying to always be pressing every time he England lose the ball. So yeah, he has to manage himself. He really has to learn how to manage himself against Netherlands, because otherwise I think it's just going to be yet another performance in which he goes missing for the most part. And it's almost like playing with 10 men now if he goes missing. So I really do hope Gareth Southgate has a plan for him to bring him into the game a lot more often than he was throughout this entire tournament. Yeah, and let's just see in the semi-finals whether he's able to up his game one step and kick it up a notch and really lead by example against the Netherlands.
Yeah, I agree. It's not really digging him out, and guess we're just trying to work out what's going on. Nick, what did you make of England? Kane, give us your thoughts on everything.
Well, it's amazing to see that when you put the right players in and you play them in their right position, then it's amazing to see that they perform. The problem, look, I think the problem is like it has been, and we've all been saying it. You got players not playing in their right position. Rice is not playing in the position that he plays in at Arsenal. Foden is not playing the position that he plays at Man City. Bellingham is trying to be in 4 or 5 positions. We've got no left back, so that left hand side is dead. We had a perfect opportunity to play 3 at the back, Saka at left back, Trent at right back, or right wing back, or whatever you want to call it. Foden and Bellingham in their 10s, and Rice in his favourite position. So the issue for me around not just Harry Kane, but the rest of these players is Gareth Southgate. Okay, up until this tournament, he's done well. Fair play. We can give him his dues, but he hasn't had these amount of players in this amount of form to be able to make decisions or make the right decisions. And look, Harry Kane, I don't really understand. I get it, but I don't really understand it. He's England's greatest goal scorer. He's one of the world's best strikers. The fact is, the players, the way that they play, it's kind of reminiscent to Spurs. You see Saka cutting it. All right, Saka cuts in at Arsenal and scores goals, but how many times do we? I was sitting there watching Saka in some of the games, thinking I'm watching Kulusevski. Do you know what I mean? Just getting cut back. Oh, loses the ball. So the issue for me is Southgate and not playing the right system. I guess in terms of Harry Kane, I think, look, the system itself, in terms of the way that it's been played after this, he's obviously had a good season. Not to make excuses, they've all had long seasons, and to come a couple of weeks after fit in because we've got the Olympics and everything else. I mean, normally you'd probably be, maybe it'd be a couple of weeks later they would have had a little bit of a rest. Who knows? But look, I think Kane's got one more chance to prove it. But for me, and I think this is fair for anyone, inside that 6-yard box, there's no one that any of us would want apart from Harry Kane to be there if the ball comes to him. We know, ultimately we know, and it's a confidence thing, right? It's a confidence thing. They can see what's been said. I thought it was very fair in the fact that, when he sat there and there was obviously, Lineker and Shearer and Ferdinand all digging him out, and he said, you guys have been here, you've experienced it. You've not, they didn't even get as far as what this England team's done. So, I get it. And there does need to be that responsibility. But look, I don't care at the moment. I don't care what happens. It's one game. And look, fair play to Saka. He's turned up in one game, but how many games has he gone missing in? So if he can turn up in the semi-final, apart from that first half in the first group game, Saka's done nothing. So let's hope he turns up in the semi-final. Let's hope he turns up in the final. And that would be the redemption, right? Redemption from the last Euros with the boos and everything else. But look, I think if it goes to penalties, because look, it's been very tight. I think if it goes to penalties, I'd choose exactly the same 5 players to take those penalties. And look, for me, Ivan Toney, just absolutely disgusting. That is in a good way. And for me, that I think with all the noise around Eze and everything else, I'd be going to get Ivan Toney for me. Just showing that bit of arrogance. Angus, I'm not saying it's because he's a gooner. I'm not saying it. It's proven in all the big games he's gone missing. So look, or majority of big games he's gone missing. I've given his dues. The first half he was good. The game at the weekend he was good. But apart from that, I want him to do well. I want him to do well for England. But that's all I'm saying, Angus. This is not a club versus country. When we're talking about a North London derby, I want Saka. I don't want anyone to be injured. I want him to have a stinker. Just like you want Romero or Van der Ven or Vicario or everything else to stinker. But for England, I'm happy that he's had a good game. But it's one game, and this let's not do a Tottenham Hotspur overreaction on one game, right? Like we do with our players with an England team. So look, let's just. I think it's going to be an interesting semi-final. I think, look, Spain by far, like you said, just touching on what you were saying a minute ago, Spain have been by far the best team, I don't think anyone called them to be the best team. Everyone was saying, I think we all said France and Germany. But look, they've played well. They haven't had a shocker. They're due a shocker. France, they haven't played well. They're due a good game. So let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm with you, Nick. I know there's been a lot of talk about Tony and his attitude and how it's a bit of a concern if you sign him because of his history. But for me, like Phil P says, we've got to go out and get Tony and Eze. What a difference those two would make to our team. Completely transform our attack. I mean, Jim, but do you think there's any chance we will go in for Tony? Do you think he's not Angie's type of player? What do you think?
Well, I want to know who this fourth person is who's just come on the panel, because you keep calling him Nick, but Nick was fat. This guy ain't fat. What's happened?
Stop flirting, Jim, and just answer the question.
Yeah, I'd love to get Tony. I said all along that I'd like him at the club. I wasn't sure about it. His attitude, I don't know what people say. I can't really say because I don't know the guy. But as I said before about the what was that?
Angus. So first of all, your first comment: if it wasn't for Bukayo Saka, you'd be out of the Euros. We'd be out of the Euros because Southgate, like I explained, it's not about one goal has done it. It's fine. I get it. It's not about Arsenal and Spurs. This is not about it. You know, I give him his dues. Give him his flowers for that one game. Don't keep on this. The Saka's England are in the Euros just because of Bukayo Saka. They're not just in the Euros because of Bukayo Saka. Pickford saved the penalty. You know, let's not go crazy, Angus.
Exactly.
I was going to say, yeah, I said about his gambling. That doesn't bother me because I think that people with addictions can change, and I would think he's learned his lesson. I don't think he'd be stupid enough to ruin his career, because a second time would ruin his career. So that doesn't actually bother me. But yeah, I'd like him at the club, Kate, and I'd like Eze at the club, and I think it would make a massive difference. And I'm still confident we'll get both of them. I still think, even though it's quieting down a bit, I think it's because they're at the Euros. But I think they'll be working behind the scenes. I think this Neto thing is just a rouge. I don't think that will be coming to us.
So you think we're going to get Tony and Eze?
Yeah, I think Jasper. It wouldn't surprise me at all to get both of them. And this Desiree Doué.
Yeah.
We're favourites in a minute to buy him, but Chelsea have come in and Man United are sitting in the background. But I think that Man United and Chelsea are a little bit cattled with how much they can spend. So we're strong favourites. So, and I just had a pop up. I didn't listen to it because I was listening to Chang and Nick. But I just had a pop up saying Nico Williams, here we go, has gone somewhere. I don't know where, but
wow.
That was Fabrizio.
It must be Barca, surely. He's been linked to the world and his wife, Nico Williams. But
you sure it wasn't one of those fake ones? I can't see anything on Romano's Twitter now.
No. I just was watching it. I didn't have the sound up, but I put it up and it had, here we go, Nico Williams and someone else.
Yeah, it's about Barca. Well, 2 hours ago, he retweeted saying, I like Nico a lot. I can say that financially we can make it happen. Of course you can, even though you're broke. It's a result of work that we've done over all these years to reach the point. We could, of course, face a signing of this level. So, yeah, I think Barcelona's favourites. But I don't think there's no here we go from what I can see. So I don't know, unless it's suddenly done it.
It was definitely there. Here we go. And he done a video.
Oh, Romano?
Yeah. He just said the pop up. And I put the video on, but I had the sound down.
Chang, what do you make of Tony and Eze? Do you think we'll get one, both, neither? What's your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm going to be realistic here and say that we might just get one of them over the line. And if I had to just choose one, I would definitely choose Eze over Tony. I feel that in this tournament in particular, especially given the spotlight, or rather the attention that a lot of these players are getting now in a major international continental tournament, a lot of them will be playing out of their skins just so that they can find potential suitors. And Ivan Toney himself has made no secret of his desire to play away from Brentford in a better, more challenging or more rewarding environment. So for me, I wouldn't read too much into what he's performing now for England. I honestly feel that for him to actually warrant any sort of interest from Big Ange, a massive change in his attitude has got to be cemented by him. For me, his whole personality really doesn't. It just gives me very negative vibes. It's almost like Ndombele all over again. If he does start to throw a tantrum and try to have things his way, if things aren't going well or the club isn't really performing well, he's just going to see us as another stepping stone. And if it's not fully invested in the philosophy, the Ange ball way of playing, and how a lot of the players really need to step up massively for this coming season, I don't see him anywhere near the squad. Although I will caveat this by saying that if Big Ange himself is confident that Ivan Toney is the man to get and properly challenge Richarlison for a starting berth in our starting 11, then I'm all for it. But yeah, Ivan Toney still has a lot to prove, not only to us, not only to the Spurs fans, but to the English fans as a whole, because he has had his chances and he has had some decent opportunities, decent passages of play in this tournament, but there still is a lot more for him to have to prove to us and also to Gareth Southgate and even to Big Ange too as well. So I would reserve my judgment on Ivan Toney until the end of the tournament. But until such time, yeah, I would still very much prefer Eze over Toney if we could only sign one of them, put it this way.
Yeah, I mean, Drula's just said that there is a Here We Go on Fabrizio Romano's YouTube, but I've just checked it out and it says that basically he's favourite to go to Barca, but Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool all admire the player. So he isn't actually going anywhere just yet. But Nick, do you see us getting Eze, Toney, both, neither? What's your thoughts?
See, I'm kind of torn. What look, Tony's going to go. I don't think he's going to go for as much as what Brentford necessarily want with his contract and everything else. And Palace obviously already got rid of Elise, right? So I think not making excuses, but I don't see how they let both go. So there's that. There's doubt on all sides, right? You can also say that could we have? I guess, look, we know now that obviously a lot of clubs were trying to take advantage of the PSR New Year or whatever it means these days. So that's why nothing was done before, because obviously Toney and Eze were at Hotspur Way training before the Euros. Maybe it was all done and maybe they just haven't announced it. Who knows? But I think there's going to be, if you look at Maddison, there was, started well and kind of faded like Wayne Holland said that he would. But it'll be interesting to see. I think there's going to be many twists and turns. We don't know when it's, the players are obviously going to go off on holiday straight after the Euros. So, I mean, what are we now? The 8th of July. The first game's in 10 days, maybe the first pre-season game or something like that. So, unless it's already done and dusted, we're going to be lastminute.com. I know Anne said he wants them in early. But I think there's going to be a lot of lastminute.com, and there's also going to be a lot of players going from other places that are potentially going to obviously it'll be a ripple effect, right? So yeah. But there's one player that hasn't gone. So you're all in the mud after telling me yesterday he's going to Milan. He's not gone yet. He's still here. And as he said on his Instagram yesterday, the king is back.
The key word is not gone yet. As in, hopefully soon.
The king is back.
Oh, don't. I can't cope with it. Although few people were saying they miss him if he goes, which I find. I think AJ said he really missed him if he goes.
Me and AJ are like Emerson Royale fan club, holding it up.
Ange can say what he wants, he will do and accept what Levy tells him. Yusuf asks, going back to England, what do you make of Jude Bellingham's performances so far? Jim, what do you make of him? Jimbo!
Jim's not listening. He's trying
Bloody
to find
hell.
that tweet that he
I
mudded
was
himself.
just listening to Fabrizio Romano, but he hasn't come to that bit yet.
What do you make of Jude Bellingham's performances so far?
Not too bad. He's been in and out. It's not been. I don't think he was very good the last game, but obviously the spectacular goal that kept us in the Euros. I did hear about Emigo. I could not hear that with the way Nick shouted. But yeah, he's been all right. Do you know what, Kane? No one's really inspired me in the England squad. I think for me that Gay, like Daniel said, has been really good, and I think Rice has been one of the best players. But no one's really, for me, has been fantastic. There's not one player I could turn around and say he's been outstanding the whole tournament. I think they've all been average, or some of them just above average. So we've still got to kick in, but I think a lot of it depends on Southgate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chang, what's your thoughts on Bellingham's performances?
I think he's been able to put in a decent shift when called upon. The highlight, of course, was that spectacular equalizer in the dying few seconds almost of that round of 16 tie that England managed to scrape past. And other than that, I think he's had a decent tournament, although given how he had really just set the La Liga alight last season and come out on tops in the Champions League, I thought there was a bit too much of an expectancy around him. There was a bit too much hype coming from the media, even some quarters of the English fan base itself surrounding Bellingham. So for me, I think honestly, Bellingham is a game changer. The only thing that's missing now is a proper manager who would know how to get the best of Bellingham and Kane and Foden and Saka and Declan Rice and pretty much all the other English players, including Kobe Manu too, who has somehow or other managed to thrive in an England team that is being managed by Gareth Southgate. So I think it's not the players' fault, if that makes any sense. I think it's a lot more to do with how Gareth Southgate sets up the team. So for Bellingham to actually produce the goods, I think the semi-finals will be a big test for him. I would actually hope that he does elevate his game against the Netherlands, because otherwise that midfield is just going to get overrun. Not that I don't think Declan Rice will be able to put in a good shift as a number 6, but there's only so many games. There's only so many times that England can come from behind in this tournament to actually try and force extra time and even make it to penalties. So a lot is expected of Jude Bellingham, and I might have to say this for the last time, but let's just not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's just wait and see what England produce in the semi-finals. And as for Jude Bellingham himself, a lot is going to be expected from him. More so, I think, than most other players so far in this tournament, because he would be one of those key players who would either make or break the semi-finals against Netherlands. That's how much I think is resting on his shoulders.
Nick, what about you? I mean, I think he's been massively overhyped for this tournament, and I don't think he particularly delivered apart from that goal. But what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think he's had a young season. No, he's had a long season. He's young, 21 years old. Look, again, we're doing the same thing, and I think it's the same thing with the the overhyping. What we think he's going to come in and ball in this system. He's not playing in the right position that he plays for Real Madrid, and he doesn't have the players around him that he does at Real Madrid. All right, he has some very good players around him, but they have that system, and he knows where he plays. So, look, I just think that it's been average. Like I think Paddy said, probably the most sensible thing Paddy's ever said. That none of the players have really stood out. look, but for me, obviously the only two that I would say is obviously Gay and Mainu, really, that have really not shocked people, but have come into the team and that you think they've been there forever. But again, like I said, they're all playing out of position. They're all not pushing up. They're all not doing all these things. So what do you expect? What can you really expect? You're putting too much pressure on him, and then what comes with it is you get that kind of issue that kind of had with the substitution, right? No one, was it him coming off and he just said, "I'm not coming off," or was it a mistake? You don't know. So look, I think it's just a little bit silly. So
yeah,
and that's the last thing nice I say about that leprechaun over there in Ireland with his rainbows and pots of gold.
You're right, Paddy.
do you know what? Love Spurs just said exactly what I said on Saturday. I turned to Jim and I said, what we're missing is someone like Grealish, Maddison, someone who can come on and bring that bit of creative spark. Not only that, but the shithousery of it all as well. We haven't got really anyone who can win a foul and give, get players rolled up.
You know what? Everyone slates him, but how much are we missing Harry Maguire at set pieces?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Jim, was you
Well, I just listened to Fabrizio, okay?
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to go to Madrid, but they said that Chelsea really wanted him, but have come out and said he's too expensive, so they're dropping out of it. So
okay.
They haven't got any more Monopoly pieces to sell, though. Have they? Oh, sorry, transfer. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And they said Liverpool are still monitoring him, but it looks like he's going to go to Barcelona.
Nick, I'm going to come to you first with this one. Who's been your player? Not necessarily England, but your player of the tournament so far.
I think for me it's Dani Olmo from Spain. I think he's been fantastic. And just like I know obviously a lot of people were saying we should be looking at him. It's just the goals, the spaces, and okay, he's got the people around him. But I think for me he's been one of the players of the tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with AJ. That's exactly what I was going to say, AJ Musiala. Do you know what, Angus? You've got a massive shout with Saliba as well. He's been exceptional. But Chang, have you got anyone who you think's been the player of the tournament?
I would say it would be Florian Wirtz for Germany, because without him and his last gasp equalizer for Germany, they wouldn't even have been able to force extra time against the Spaniards. So for me, my stand-up player of the tournament was Florian Wirtz, and it's not too difficult to see why Leverkusen were just untouchable in Germany in the Bundesliga all season last season, with the way he commanded that midfield and also helped the forwards push forward. Even though Germany themselves don't have a out and out proper striker, I know a lot of people were expecting Kai Havertz to be Harry Kane for Germany, but sadly that wasn't the case. So Florian Wirtz was very instrumental in pretty much most of the goals that Germany scored in this tournament, and for me, he would be my standout player of the tournament. And it's a shame, really, the Germans, the host nation, won't be able to see more of him, despite him having such a spectacular calendar year for Leverkusen and also for Germany. So yeah, for me, Florian Wirtz would be my player of the tournament thus far.
Jimbo, what about you?
Well, I think Nico Williams has been good.
Yeah.
I've been watching out for him, and I think he's been good. Who's the Pepe? I think he's been
Pepe at 41 years old is just insane.
Yeah, I think he's been excellent.
Rodri as well. Someone said he's been excellent. Yeah. Tony Cruz. There's been some great shouts in the chat. To be fair.
But if I had to pick one, I would say Pepe. At 41, he's been immense.
Yeah.
Absolutely immense.
I can't disagree. I'm actually quite into the tournament now, but it's took to get to this stage for me to get into it. But I just want to see them really perform out of their box.
Someone just said,
Dragusin was good as well.
he's been good.
Yeah. Big up Cassandra, good to see you. Another one saying Fabian Ruiz. So yeah, lots of good calls. Bit of news I read today, which apparently broke over the weekend, saying Tango and Ndombele are signed for Nice. I mean, that just makes me feel sick. I don't know if he got a signing on fee. I would assume so. Apparently, he wants to resurrect his career. I mean, I can't even use enough words to describe my disdain for this disgraceful player, in my opinion. I mean, Chang, what did you think? Had you already heard the news, and what do you make of this?
Not only did I hear the news, I actually saw the photo that he was posing when he was announced as a Nice player, and that photo was just him sulking. He couldn't look less interested. He couldn't have looked happier. Even Aaron Lennon being announced for Everton, he looked, compared to Aaron Lennon when he was announced for Everton, Ndombele just looked so disinterested and unhappy to be at Nice. And I mean, it's such a waste for someone of his talent, someone of his caliber, to just throw it all away and just be expecting, the big clubs to come for him. Like, if you had heard the rumors, or if you heard that the news that was doing the rounds on social media, that he was actually offering himself up to the likes of Barcelona, that was just laughable. And for him to even be able to have a club to play with next season, he's just stealing a living for all I know. And I just feel that I don't know what's going on in his life. Is it something that is very personal? Is it something that he's had to deal with? Is it something like what Dele Alli went through before he went to Galatasaray? Or maybe it's just a whole mentality, persona thing. I really couldn't be bothered, really. I really couldn't be bothered with him. I hope that this will be the last time we ever speak of him ever again, because he just really isn't worth our time. Not even worth my breath talking about him. So yeah, I mean, it's good for him. If he does resurrect his career, then it's good for him. But otherwise, what a waste of talent, Ndombele.
Yeah, Angus, this is what I said. It'd probably be absolutely incredible for them now. Although I don't know if he's actually got it in him to have that sort of work ethic. Jimbo, go on, give us your thoughts on Ndombele.
Do you know what? I don't know if this is true or not, because half of what you read is not true. But Tottenham tried to do a deal with him, and I think that their words were they wouldn't even pay $5 million for him, and now he's playing for them. It's just the saga with him over the years has just been terrible. And I'm with Chang. The least we talk about him, the better. Let him just go off to McDonald's and stuff his fat face.
Yeah, agreed. I had to bring it up because I couldn't believe it, really. I can't believe anyone's took a punt on him after seeing how he behaved for Spurs. But another one that we did mention on Friday, apparently Arsenal are closing in on Calafiore. I still don't think it's going to happen. I don't know why. I don't know if it's hopium, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think you're hoping, Kate. I think that's pretty much done.
Oh no!
But I don't know. They still need a striker, right? So if we're talking about hopium, Arsenal still need a striker. So
yeah, but they did score 91. Was it league goals last season? I mean, this guy Calafiore he's just such a good player. Such a good player. But yeah, according to one source, it says that it's close. The other source says a fee hasn't even been agreed yet, and there's still a lot to do. So I'm not sure how close it actually is, but not the news I wanted to hear, because I think they've got themselves a real baller there. Tottenham, this is a funny one. Tottenham keeping tabs on Kyle Walker-Peters.
Please, no.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I'm going to be the first to say then. I'm going to be the first to say then. I would rather keep Royal. I would rather keep Royal than get Kyle Walker-Peters.
Wow, must be bad.
I think the only thing around this is this whole European homegrown quota crazy and everything else, right? So I think that's the only thing that it's to do with. But sorry, guys, I have to go. They've closed the school and because the fire alarm's faulty or something.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
So your kids are coming home early.
Let's just hope it's just a false alarm. Let's just hope it's just a false alarm at the school.
No, it's a false alarm. It's not working. So that's the reason. There's no issues, Chang. The issue is that they've got to come back. That's the issue. And then I've got to go and pick Takara up from Reading because he's on the way back from my mum's in Cornwall. So thank you for having me on, Kate, even though you
anytime, Nick.
Sent the invite late, so
well, I thought you'd be busy with your big time friends.
Well, I'm going to be with my big time friends on Wednesday doing a watch along for the England game
on We Are Tottenham TV.
I don't know how many of us are going to be there. There's going to be a plethora of stars on Wednesday evening. So tune in to We Are Tottenham TV. I think me, Ben, Sim, Si, Brains. I don't know how we did it before for the World Cup and got distraught. So hopefully we won't be
excellent.
Won't be bad. But it'll be like it won't be the table. It'll be a sofa and people sat behind and limbs everywhere when we score. So yeah, it'll be.
We'll have to call you Arsenal TV then, won't we? There's going to be a sofa.
What are you swearing for, Jim? There's no need to swear. Big up everyone. Big up in the chat.
Take care, Nick.
And come on, England and Southgate. Just listen to what everyone else is saying, and we'll be okay.
Exactly. See you later, Nick. Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Bye. Jim, what's your thoughts on Carl Walker-Peters?
No, why? It just doesn't make sense to me. I can't see Ange okay and Carl Walker-Peters. I just can't see it. I've got it in my head he ain't coming, so he's not coming. I just can't see it happening, honestly.
Yeah, it would just be for homegrown, but there's other homegrown players we could get in instead of Carl Walker-Peters.
Just bring someone up from the under 21s.
Question for you guys: is there a difference between club signings and manager signings? As managers get 3 to 4 years contract, but new players get 5-year deals. Surely that means everyone is a club signing. I do think sometimes if we buy a youth player, it's more of a club signing because they're looking for the potential for the future to make money. But I do think sometimes it's just a bit of a cop-out when they say it's a club signing. I don't know if you agree, anyone?
Well, what Ange said in one of his interviews he done with someone, I can't remember who it was, well, they have him on a sofa and they interview him. He said the way it works is he tells them who he wants and he has a list of 2 or 3 or 4 in what positions he wants. He said because you can't always get your first choice. It doesn't, they might choose not to come to you or they might get offered more money elsewhere. So he has a list and he gives them the list and then he leaves them to it to work on it because they know who he wants. So I cannot see Carl Walker-Peters being on that list, not for love nor money. And that's how he said it works. So he said once he gives them the list of players he wants, in what positions, he leaves them to it. He doesn't get involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Big up, Georgie. Good to see you, my lovely. It was a weird one for me. Definitely weird. I mean, ex Tottenham player Scott Parker's just been given the Burnley job. I don't know if you both knew that, but apparently,
I never know.
Yeah, apparently he's really excited at the new challenge. Honestly, to go from Company to Parker for me is a bit of a drop down. I wouldn't be particularly happy if I was a Burnley fan. I don't particularly rate Scott Parker as a manager. Exactly what Ronnie's just said here. Calafiori to Arsenal and Carl Walker-Peters to Tottenham. Come on, Tottenham, act like we are London's richest club, please. Exactly that. Exactly that. Arsenal have joined the race to sign I don't even know how you say that. Is it João? How do you say that word? João Neves. Apparently, they're in the race with. Let's have a look. What did it say? I've got so many I've got so many transfer things open because I like to make sure I keep up to date. Chang's having trouble with his internet, bless him. Where are we? Arsenal registered their interest in the Wolves keeper as well. I can't find it. It's gone. Ruud van Nistelrooy is back. Oh, apparently Arsenal are pushing to get the deal for Calafiori over the line this week, and the final round of talks have been scheduled. Romano says the player is keen to join the project and will sign a contract until 2029. He adds that Calafiori will receive £3 million net per season. And then it says Portuguese newspaper reports that Arsenal and Liverpool are the latest team to join Manchester United for João Neves. The Benfica wonder kid has been linked with a big money move to Old Trafford. United had their opening bid rejected as Portuguese giants are holding out for £105 million, which is a lot of money for a wonder kid. So yeah, there's that. Which academy players can you see getting promoted to the first team?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure, Kate, but there's a lot of them in the first team training because I see them coming in. So I don't know which ones he'll promote up, but there's definitely a few of them, 4 or 5 of them training with the first team.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I see it. I mean, Dane Scarlett had a few chances. Chang, do you see anyone? I don't know if I do. I don't know. Do you see any academy players being moved up, Chang?
Probably only Mikey Moore. Although I would like to see maybe Elfie Divine get a chance. The only one that actually makes sense is Lucas Bergvall, but he's not from our youth setup.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Mikey Moore and Elfie Divine, only these 2 players. Unless say Troy Parrott or Dane Scarlett can really impress in preseason. Otherwise, it's just going to be Mikey Moore and maybe Elfie Divine, or maybe even Elfie Dorrington.
Yeah.
He's taken a few on the pre-season tour, so we have more.
Yes.
Yeah, and Lancashire, I think I'd like to see him be promoted up as well. He looks a bit of a beast. So yeah, Dorrington, Phillips is another one.
I've not heard that Mikey Moore's going Dortmund. Does anyone else?
No, but I know he's taken. I don't know who's going, but I did read that he's taking a few of them to see how they perform. He's going to give them a chance in pre-season.
The last bit of transfer news is Man United are reportedly closing in on the signing of Xerxes from Bologna. Inter Milan advisor Ibrahimovic has revealed the club are no longer looking to sign the striker. He said Xerxes is the past for us. We already have the new striker in mind, but I'm not going to tell you the name. However, Romano has revealed an agreement between the player and United has been reached. I mean, this Joshua Xerxes, am I right in thinking he's at the Euros at the moment? Or have I made that up? Because I'm sure I've seen him.
I'm not sure, but I was just listening to Romero say that about Man United closing in on him.
Yeah, he plays for Netherlands. Yeah, I thought so because I was listening out for him the other day when I saw the link. He looks like a good player to me. So I know Terry from the Terrace is absolutely so excited that there's a chance that they're getting him. He does look very, very good. He's very highly rated as well. So yeah, it looks like they're going to be getting their guy. But that was all the news that I had. Yeah, he is at the Euros. I thought so. I remember watching him the other day. We always moan as a fan base other clubs buy young players and play them in the first team, and then when we end up wanting them, we have to blood our young players even for sell-on fees or first team. Yeah, there is that. Yeah, I don't see De Ligt happening myself, but they have been linked with him. But I mean, if you went through and thought everyone was going to sign for whoever's been linked with who, we'd all have humongous squads.
Yeah.
but let me just check there's no breaking news from anyone. Thiago Alcantara has decided to retire. Obviously, that was out yesterday. Marseille are putting a bid for Mason Greenwood. I think that's it, really. Chang, is there any news that you wanted to talk about or that you've got that I've missed?
There is no breaking news, but after this show, or whenever you feel like so, there is a montage of well wishes from the club, or rather,
I
there are a
saw
lot
that.
of all the players were walking into training and they were all wishing Sonny a happy birthday. So to anyone in the chat who's not seen it, when this show is over, make sure you do check it out. I think it's very cute. The likes
It
of
is.
Pedro Porro, Brian Hill, Richarlison, all wishing Sonny well for his birthday. And I think this is what we need to see a lot more next season. Players actually getting behind their club captain and actually, trying to rally behind the club captain rather than let him do all the running and all the huffing and puffing by himself up top. That I think is something that we will look forward to in pre-season as well, because we know that Sonny isn't getting any younger himself. And if there is to be one final big season from him, let's just hope we haven't seen the last of him. And I really, really do hope that Sonny gets all the backing and all the support from his teammates this coming season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Leo here. Van Nistelrooy coming in, I think that is the plan, that he will work under Ten Hag, and then when Ten Hag moves on, perhaps he'll step up and be the new manager. We're going to Korea. That's right, isn't it? This season, back to Sonny's homeland. So, I was going to say one more thing.
I just wanted to ask Ed M said that Zerki's got a lot of baggage.
Yeah, Xerxes.
Yeah, what baggage has he got?
I don't know if I think it could possibly be injury related. I'm not sure. Let us know, Ed. Let us know. But what I will say is on Sunday, the 21st of July, Jimbo and I are doing a 12-hour charity stream starting at 10:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. in aid of Legend on the Bench, which is Mickey Hazard's charity for anyone suffering with mental health. The idea is they're going to put benches in parks and they get all the numbers of Samaritans and that sort of thing. It's a great charity. Ozzy Ardidis has just been announced as the ambassador. So we'll be doing giveaways. We'll have all different people coming on, other YouTubers, anyone that really wants to come on for that 12 hours and auctions. So that's the Just Giving page set up already. But if you can, keep Sunday the 21st free and pop in and say hello, because all your support is going to be much needed to sit here for 12 hours, but we are going to do it. I couldn't do 24 physically, I couldn't do it, but 12 hours is quite long enough. My bum will be very numb after 12 hours of sitting in his chair. Apparently he's got a bad attitude, so Xerxes. And
Paul said we're going to Japan and Korea. I saw that this morning. We was going to Japan.
Yeah. Okay. Arsenal going to America. Leo, you'll have to make sure you come on. Yeah, big up Angus. I know you'd be there. Listen, that's it for today. We've got a quiet week this week because Jim's got the hospital midweek and a few things going on, so we won't be back till towards the end of the week, Thursday or Friday. Chang, are you up to anything this week?
Currently, I'm supposed to be doing yet another show with Queen Ellie. Hopefully, it's going to be on Wednesday. I hosted my first ever show last Wednesday, and honestly, I don't know how you do it, Miss Kate, but it really was an experience and a half being able to host an entire 2 hours over on a Spurs diehards with Mr. Stroker and Queen Ellie. So I might do it yet again on Wednesday, although I still have a lot of things to plan out and work out before I ever get that through. But yeah, I think that will be my only other show this week, assuming that is assuming that is you aren't going to be doing another show on Friday or Saturday when we try.
I'm hoping to do one Thursday if we're around, because then it'll be a reaction to the England game. So obviously, Chang, I will chuck you the link as soon as I know whether it's going to be Thursday or Friday. But I just wondered
So
if
I'll be
you had
looking
any
forward to that.
planned. Yes,
I will most definitely be looking forward to that. So I think that's about all I have, because I can't wait for this tournament to be over, to be done and over with, to be honest. I just want our preseason to get underway. I want to see all our players back fit and firing, ready to go. And more than anything, I would like to see a lot more signings in the coming weeks before the actual preseason gets underway, because I know that some of the more important players will be coming back from their holidays. But if there is a deal to be done for players who aren't actively involved in the Euros right now, especially for those countries already been knocked out, if there are any potential signings to get over the line, I think Daniel Levy and Paratici have to act fast and not dilly-dally. Let's not fall back to old habits and try and stinge on a couple of £1 million. Let's just pay whatever is necessary to get these signings over the lines. And let's not repeat any more loan signings for the likes of Werner. I mean, if we really are serious in challenging for silverware and honours next season, or even cementing our place in Europe, I think we cannot afford to be purchasing players from the bargain bin any longer. So let's hope for some better quality signings over the coming weeks.
Yeah, agreed. Paul Connor, thank you so much. So a £10 super chat says, Jim and Kate, have a beer on me for all your hard work. Good luck with the appointments, Jim. All the best. Come on, you Spurs, and of course, come on, England. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated.
Thanks, Paul. And I'll let Kate have the biggest drink, because she does most of the work.
Wednesday.
I'll have a small one. She can have a big one. Cheers, Paul.
That'll make a change, getting a big one. We find out on Wednesday whether Jimbo needs an operation on his arm. I mean, bearing in mind it was September when he broke it in 4 places. So we're still waiting to find out for sure if he needs an operation. So it's a big, massive appointment on Wednesday, but I appreciate that. Paul, thank you very much. We will hopefully be back Thursday. If not, it will definitely be Friday. But enjoy the game. Cheer England on. Please, God, we win. Because how exciting will it be going into the final on Sunday? It'd be amazing. Thanks to Nick who popped on, and thank you as always to Chang for coming on. It's appreciated you coming on and giving us your thoughts. Jimbo, anything you want to add before we go? No,
just thanks to everyone for coming in, and looking forward to the thanks, El Dente. Come on, Holland.
Boo, Angus, boo.
And good luck to England. And thanks to everyone coming in. And thanks, Paul, for the super chat. Really nice of you.
Yeah, and like I say, thanks to everyone. Please make sure you've smashed a like if you haven't already. And thanks for watching. And as always, come on, you Spurs. And come on, you England.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you fucking doctors. Sort out my arm. And come on, you fucking Spurs.